Hey guys, welcome for this vlog, ASMR video aimed for your relaxation and your enjoyment. So we do have some calm vibe over here, and I'm going to share with you certain things that I've never been sharing. Today it is about time to share with you my experience with Embers Adrift and how I became a community manager for this game. But before that, I want to thank you all personally for joining me in this adventure. Thank you for joining my channel and enjoying my content. It is a real honor to be able to provide you some good and relaxing videos. I really do my best to create high quality content and to improve in what I'm doing. I also do my best to provide you some good, positive, happy vibe. That's so my energy is positive and can transfer to you and uplift your mood or soothe you down. So those videos, like the vlog type of video, I'm talking in a more natural way. Do I try to be still relaxing, of course, but even to the subject of discussion are more mundane or more related to gaming or to whatever subject, I still work on bringing my best mood and my best vibe so you can beneficiate from my energy. If you believe in that kind of things, of course. Some of you may not. So here it's kind of the background of my setup. So for the vlog videos, I try to give this authentic vibe, so it is captured with natural light and in my environment, so you see my mess. One day it's my wish to have a cozy home that I will not be ashamed to show off. But for now, I have a little bit limited where I put my camera. So I'm working with my webcam that is here, there, and it's related to my computer, and so my cable is short. So it's always, if I want to be away from my green screen and from this place, I really need to work on weird things, move my computer, put extending cable and that kind of things. So we keep it simple today. But I'm sitting here in my chair with my beautiful Twitch blanket, and it's quite comfortable. I can sit like a yogi, and so it's nice to just talk to you face to face like that. So I hope you're doing good, guys, and I hope this video will bring you some relaxation. So a lot of people have been asking me, how did I stumble upon Embers Adrift? How did I become community manager? And it's a very long and bizarre adventure. It's quite an interesting story, and depending how the game will be successful in future, I feel very, very lucky and blessed to have done this. So, back in 2016, I was in a very different situation than my situation right now. I will give a little bit of context because it is very important. In 2016, I was together with a Norwegian ex-boyfriend. It was our 6 years together, something like that. And at that time, my only goal and purpose was to find a way to be able to move with him in Norway and install myself in Norway, have a little home facing the fjords, and to be able to work on the internet. At that time, I was creating video content on a different YouTube channel. I was mostly doing video guides for the Elder Scrolls Online. I was also creating the serie The ELLOA'S that a lot of you are asking me to bring back, and maybe one day I will, but not on this channel, as it was not ASMR at all. I was also leading a community called White Star for many years, which was multi-gaming community. I was kind of the founder and organizer, but we had different guild leaders that were taking care of the guilds themselves and really having their autonomy. About this, I was also streaming to not regularly at that point, and I was living in a different home. So that's the context. Gaming wise, I was focusing on Elder Scrolls Online, but I was still looking for the dream game that will bring back all of my community together and the excitement of a like classic World of Warcraft experience, something like that, something that I missed dearly at that point. So basically I was always looking out for new stuff with the hope that a game would finally bring back my community, because that was my problem at the time. It was the fact that when I enjoyed a game, my friends, my ex-boyfriend, and my community in general were interested in that new game for a month or 2 months, but they were jumping to something else after that, and I felt very often left alone in that game, sitting. And I was really hoping to find the one game that would bring us all together again, like it was in the past. That the saying is that the way people play games nowadays has changed, and this will probably never happen. But mostly I was really stressed to find an activity that could provide me financial stability or just a way of living that will not rely on me working in Belgium. I wanted to find a source of income that will allow me to work on the internet, so I could move away in Norway without any problem. The prospect of having to clean homes in Norway, to do some kind of very basic job like that foreigner can do, was a little bit stressing me out. And so I was really seeking my independence financially on the internet, and I was hoping to do that through YouTube, but YouTube is very difficult, and at that moment Twitch seems like out of reach for me. To become a partner on Twitch was like not even a dream I could envision at that point. But there we go. So that's for the context. One day I saw an article written by serie, which is a friend or an internet acquaintance. He was doing a lot of articles back then, and there was an article showing off different new MMORPG that were being started to be developed, that were bringing back the old moods, the old feel of what MMORPG were at the beginning. One of them was Pantheon, and another of them was Saga of Leucemia. And I remember that I was very interested by those two games, but Pantheon for some reason interested me more at that time. So I started to make my research, to check the website, to read what I could find, to watch videos, all the kind of things when you are looking for a new game. And as I still wanted to be a content creator, and I still wanted to find that new game that would bring all of my community together, I started to interact with Pantheon tweets. And I remember to have written something on Twitter and responded to a tweet Pantheon has written. And then someone answered me to that tweet and told me, oh, but we are also working on a game in the same line. Maybe you will be interested into checking it out. And then I checked the website, as I had read already an article about Saga of Leucemia in the same article where I discovered Pantheon. I jump in and say, okay, let's see what's going on that game. And the first message I read was, we are hiring a community manager. And then I thought about this a little bit, and I read the article and say that would be fantastic if I could become a community manager for a game. That would be great. Then I will find my source of income, and I could work on the internet, and I could do something exciting that I've always wanted to do. And I had a lot of doubt about my capabilities, but I was, I've been doing that all of my gaming life. I've been taking care of communities, I've handled projects, I've been doing basically the community manager work for many games for free, just because I wanted to be well known and established in the community. I wanted to have a successful guild, or I wanted to develop my YouTube channel and stuff like that. Originally, I didn't have any YouTube channel and I was not a content creator, but I was handling guild, and I've always wanted to be well known in the community I was taking part of. So it's been at that point it was at least 10 years I have been doing that. Now it's 15 years I'm doing this. In any case, I was quite stressed about this. I talked to a friend that were involved into this project. That friend, Angelos, I met through Elder Scrolls Online, and we had done podcasts together, etc. It has always been very, very lovely with me, and after that, in future, it will be even more a dear friend. But that time it was the early 2016, and I contacted him, asked him, do you think that I have a chance? And say, yeah, absolutely, you should put your application, and I know pretty well the team. I'm going to say a word about you. And so I was a little bit reassured, so I wrote an application. I did my best, and I also, and that's quite important, for every big decision I have to take in my life, I always check in with my intuition. I always do something like that, either an introspection or pull cards or do something like that. I am someone which trusts much more my heart than my mind. My mind can always trick me into endless arguing, while my heart will know the answer. So I pull a card, an angel card from my angel card deck, and I got the Archangel Michael, which was kind of meaning go for it, or at least that's a message I received. Go for it. Okay, Michael. Thank you. I will go for it. And so I did send my application. I got an interview. The interview happened. It's really nice. And I got into the team. I got kind of accepted as a community manager into Stormhaven studio. At that moment, it was really free work, and there was nothing much like a... I don't remember when I signed my first contract or anything like that, but it was much more vague, and it was really be part of a project, but with no anything to make it feel very tangible. So I took it that way, like I am starting up a new opportunity. Now I need to prove myself. I need to prove myself, so I will deserve to be hired. And that was how I entered into this project. Really, I am starting this with the hope of being hired at the end and to become an employee. At first, I didn't really have any specific task to do. I could put a little bit of activity on the forums or on Discord, but I didn't have any specific project to work on. And then I started to do videos for the YouTube channel with Tim Anderson. And for the first years, I've been working almost exclusively with him. And I did enjoy that a lot. I really enjoyed to create video. When we had tests, it happened not very often, but I enjoyed to be part of the test and to meet the people and to welcome them. But I didn't have much to do, and for a long time it felt very much like I would invest myself for a period of time, and then for another period of time I had nothing to do, and I kind of disconnected with the project. Oh, you can see my cat for the first time, maybe. Well, it didn't stay long. That was in 2016. And in September, my life changed. My ex-boyfriend broke up with me and went back to Norway, and my world shattered. My dream shattered. Everything shattered. And I didn't have any more reason to seek a job on the internet anymore yet. I still wanted to be a successful content creator, and that's when I started to stream regularly. I think I've been talking about that in the other vlog. And so I received a lot of support during that period from Tim Anderson. He has been very nice with me at that time. I will always remember that. He did talk a lot privately with me, and really tried to put my mood back up. So that's something I'll always remember. And so I decided to continue to focus on Saga of Leukemia and to take the things more seriously, and I invested myself more into the project, tried to start to have some initiative. I created some Saga of Leukemia news on my YouTube channel, like I was doing for Elder Scrolls Online, even though there was not a lot of news to share at the time, but I wanted to do something like that. So, I put myself into that mode. In 2017, I really started to stream regularly. and I put a lot of effort into streaming and creating YouTube content. I really wanted to be successful, especially with the Elder Scrolls Online. So I put a lot of effort into that. I got together with a guy called Nikki, that some of you may remember, and he really supported me and helped me into establishing myself better through YouTube and through Twitch. And then in May 2017, Twitch launched their affiliate program where you can actually earn some money. And when I started to earn money through Twitch and I saw that it was working quite well, even for a small streamer like me, I saw it as an opportunity of becoming the content creator I had always been dreaming of. So while I was still a community manager for Saga of Leucemia, I was much more excited for my career as a content creator. And I put much more focus, energy and time into that. And for Saga of Leucemia, it was still a very vague project at that time, for me at least. And my participation was limited. I was doing videos with Renfail. When there was a weekend event, I was welcoming the player in the weekend event. I did write some posts on the forum, but I've never done anything with a lot of consistency, and I didn't really knew how to find my place into the project. However, while at that time my idea was still, I'm doing this, so when the game launch I will be hired as a content creator and I will receive a salary. There was some hint that maybe I could become a member of Stormhaven studio, and I really didn't have any idea of what that meant or what that will entitle or any of the consequence of what it will mean. So I was not really knowing what to do, and I was very cautious about that. But when this got offered to me, I saw this as a really cool opportunity. Maybe this could become something bigger than I anticipated. So while I knew nothing of what I was doing, I agreed to that proposition. I've been grateful for it, and I signed up the paperwork, and hey, I was part of Stormhaven Studio alongside 14 other members. 3 or 4 of them left quite rapidly after that. 2 of them I had never met. I didn't know what they were doing originally or what was their involvement in the project. And 2 of them I had met before, and one of those persons were the guy that answered me on Twitter. I'm not saying their name because maybe they don't want to be involved anymore now, so I'm keeping their privacy. And at that time, I really had mostly contact with Tim Ardeson, really little contact with anyone else. Yes, sometimes I was part of the meetings, sometimes I was part of the design discussion, too. That was very limited, as I was one of the only active players of modern MMORPG. I've been very vocal on different subjects, sometimes in heated but friendly debates related to how the game still need to be accessible to modern player and cannot be too hardcore. Players have changed nowadays, and I know that I was really trying to speak up about that. Well, it will be important for future. It's little detail. In 2018, I became a full-time streamer. And at the time, all of my energy went into that. All of my time, all of my energy, all of my focus. I was extremely excited about becoming finally this content creator full-time that I had dreamed or not dared to dream for years. So while I was still continuing to do some activities for Saga of Leucemia, like I said, I didn't have any real specific task to do, and outside of doing some video serie with Renfail, I had nothing to really do. I could have done a lot more, but I was also extremely excited by Ashes of Creation. I started to get involved with Ashes of Creation because I wanted to become a content creator for it. I started to follow streamers and team up with podcaster, and I was invited on Simmerg or on Golden Feather podcast, and I was really excited by the ideas that Stephen Sheriff came up with. And to be fair, I was a little bit jealous because I saw the super brilliant, exciting game while I was a lot less excited for what we were coming up with for Saga of Leucemia. Of course, the scale of the project were not the same at all. Stephen Sheriff had a lot of personal fortune that he could invest into the game immediately, and then he hired a very nice bunch of developers, and even at the earliest stage of Ashes of Creation, you really felt this very solid project with really solid teams that were working on it, and you were seeing real fast progress. It was really exciting, and Saga of Leucemia were much more modest because we didn't have much fund, and everything was done with the time and energy that people had to give. And the first years, it was most people were part-time only, and so it was done in such a more amateur way. And I'm saying this with respect. I'm not bashing on ourselves, not at all, but it was not the same scale of project. In 2018, I really started to doubt about whether I wanted to be part of this or whether I didn't want to be part of it. I was already part of Stormhaven studio, so I was already more tight to the project, and to leave the project was going to cause a lot of paperwork and issue and legal things, etc. So it was not a decision to take lightly. It was a beautiful opportunity for me, but I was lacking faith at that time. I was really wondering if it was the right project for me. I was more excited, like I say, with my streaming career. I was more excited about Ashes of Creation, and I was really wondering what to do. In addition, I had done a little series of streams together with Renfail about Shroud of the Avatar, and I really didn't like Shroud of the Avatar. No offense to the game, of course, this is very personal, but I really didn't like it at all. Granted, I've not played so much of it, so maybe I've missed out the amazing aspect of it, so I want to keep it fair. But what I did play, I did not enjoy it, and suddenly it made me very scared that Saga of Leucemia were going to become a sort of game like Shroud of the Avatar was. We were both doing the games with Unity, and there was some similarities. There are also plenty of things that were different, but I was really scared that it was going to be that way. So I lost faith. I lost faith in interest. And what I did was kind of just keeping my feet in the door, just in case. I was still doing the task, I was asked to, but like I say, I didn't had my heart to it, and I was really wondering, what am I doing here? Will I be able to defend the game as a community manager? I thought it was very important to really be excited by the game, otherwise I would be just a liar, and I didn't want to be a liar. In 2018, I've met for the first time the team in Minnesota. So we had 1 week where we met each other, and that was really great. It was really nice because to see everyone in flesh and bone allowed me to have a little bit more tangibility about the project and the team I was part of. And it was also the occasion for me to speak with some of the members almost for the first time. I remember to have discussed a lot with one of the artists that left a little bit afterwards, and John Gusts. We had very nice and long discussion around the lake, and it was a great time. It was a very nice experience and very fond memories. And then, well, at the end of 2018, or let's say 2019, I had this big change in my life where I broke up with the boyfriend Nikki. I got through a very intense dark night of the soul, where I disconnected from everything. I disconnected from the game I played. I disconnected from YouTube, from streaming, from my work as community manager, from everything. I felt like a planet kicked out of her orbit and floating endlessly in the vastness of the universe, alone and scared. That's how I felt. And so I had a discussion with John. At that time, I was close to give up and to drop the project. And I had a discussion with John about this. And I remember very well this discussion because it was the first one that I had with him since the time we spent in Minnesota together. And it was a very, very gentle and very nice, comforting discussion. And basically, I was given some time to think and to consider things. And I've been hesitating. And then I took a decision. I decided I needed to do an act of faith and just do it. And so I invested myself more again. And in 2019, I started to have a project, which was a preparation of later. So I needed to build up content creator team and to gather some people to really start to do things a little bit more seriously. Basically, we were doing things, the things were advancing. It started to take shape. It started to become less of a very vague idea of something that might come to be in my mind, and I felt more involved. I had a specific task to do, and I needed to work on it to be ready for 2020. So I've been working on that, and yes, that offered me a little bit more of feeling of being useful and feeling of having my place among the team. Then there was this April 2020. 1 month was weekend test, and it's the first time that I really saw all little piece of things coming up together, and we had this first player experience from let's say level 1 to 20. We didn't have level back then, but it was kinda that. Or did we had the level? I don't remember now. Fuck. It was the first player experience we had this one big zone. It was a very beautiful zone. Unfortunately, it was a performance disaster. So it had been we had been forced to scrap it away anyway. The first hill were super steep, and I remember the first player experience was to climb up that hill that were taking ages, but it was kind of fun, and you had this explorative aspect to it. So the zone were 3 islands was a bridge in between. The first island were kind of the beginner area, and then you had a higher one, and the last one was not populated yet. But it just didn't work on a performance this year. It was really a strain. I could only play with the minimum. Granted, I didn't have a very good video card at the time, but it was just not working in that regard. So, but it was quite fun, because I saw for the first time how, from a social point of view, how the game was working, and it gave me hope, because what I saw was something very, very fun. I saw group forming and people exploring and enjoying themselves, and I said, okay, that bring me some faith into it. After this first month of test, we had to remake a complete new version of that zone for the reason I told you about, and we hired for the first time our director, which has changed everything. She really has been doing a fantastic job. Her husband came in the team as well as contractor, and they started to work on the revamp of the zone. But very fast after that, we had the 2020 thing that happened, and I'm not going to talk about that too much, because we the reason we're not talking about this is not so much for a legal reason, but for ethical reason. When you have a divorce, well, you don't wash your dirty laundry in public, right? We had to make a change. As a team, we had to make a decision together. So we did. And that did not happen at all as we hoped. And there we go. So 2020 happened. From that, everything changed. And to me, everything changed for the better. It has been a very emotional experience. It has been a very shocking experience, a very unpleasant one, and for the first time I had to deal with legal stuff, with lawyers, with lawyer meetings, and I saw the dirty side of lawyer stuff. I've never been acquainted to law things in Belgium, but I think the American one are even harsher. So it really put myself into a very, very bizarre position. So we have been working super hard, really doing so many meetings, so many gathering, and all of my 2020, while the world was dealing with the pandemic, for me, most of my energy went into that. And it's not something I've been talking about, it's not something I've been sharing. I was also doing my stream at the same times, like usual. And this YouTube channel, I restarted the thing in 2020. And I've not been telling about that because I could not speak about it. At first, I was not sure of what I could say or what will happen. It was very complex, so it was better left to leave it in the shadow. And then in 2021, we did the rebrand, and we could announce what we had been working on, and the change we're doing. And our way of working has completely changed starting in this crisis. When this crisis arose, it's the moment where I really had to take a decision. In my head, it was extremely clear. It was either I go full into it or I drop it. And I have really, really been hesitating. I only had one night to take my decision. And it was either I fully embrace it or I drop it. And I knew that from my decision, the future of other people will depend upon. It was one of the hardest things I have ever done in my life. It was emotionally super hard. And and the degree of uncertainty associated to it was immense. So I really had to check deep within myself. And I had to do it very fast. So I will not explain the details of my thought and reflection at that time, but I decided to go fully for it. And I made this decision, and I say now I'm just embarking in this, not tiptoeing anymore. I'm signing with my blood, basically. That was it. That was a little bit the feeling. But from that dramatic event, some good stuff happened. Some really beautiful good stuff happened, and that's often what's come up. When things are burning with fire, then you have new things that are flourishing out of it. And from that moment, we started to really work as a team, all of us. There was some member I had almost never talked to, like Joe Bennett, one of our artists. It was kind of the first time we were discussing together. And we had to go full into it. All of us, we had signed it with our blood from that point. And we had to make this game happen. We had to make it work. We had to make it good. We had to make it the beautiful experience we wanted it to be. And so not only I invested with my time, my energy, my thoughts, my discussion, all of it, I also invested a third of my economy, my personal economy. Of course, it's not a lot. I have always got some modest means, but it shows that I really make this decision to commit myself fully into this. And now there's no way back, you know. We have embarked into this adventure. I've embarked into this adventure, and so I'm there with all of myself into it. And maybe it doesn't seem so, because I'm still streaming other games but yeah, I'm working on this with really all of me. So in 2021 we did announce the rebrand. We did announce a lot of the things we had been working on. We became public again. We get out of the shadow, and that's when my work really started seriously. So now, not only I'm taking care of the community, but I'm also taking care of the social media, which is my, this is really, oh my god, I'm not good at that. I hate Facebook. I don't use Instagram. I'm a noob with it. Even though I'm doing my best, I feel I'm terrible. But I'm taking care of the social media. I need to create content for the YouTube channel, but I'm also working on the lore. So I'm not writing quests directly because I do not have the language level to do that, but I do have a little part of the lore that I'm taking care of with certain NPCs and stuff like that. And so I'm very excited about that. Even if it's not a lot, it's quite cool, and I hope that people will like what I've been creating. So you see that I'm invested in the project in more than one way, and that's something that only was possible because of the event of 2020. Otherwise, I think I will just still have been this community manager that didn't really know her place and didn't really know what to do. So those sad events allowed me to take my place, and I had to do it because we cannot slack. I mean, we have to take the project with heart, and well, I don't know how to express that, but we need to go fully into it, otherwise it's not going to work, it's not going to make it happen. So it's not even a choice, it's a must, and but it's an exciting must. And so I'm really glad how these things turn out to be, because we have been designing the lores together. We have been discussing some design element and change we were doing together. We are working as a full team, and from those events a great friendship has born between us. And I think that is something that you can feel in the game. Now the alpha tester have been following us and being with us from the beginning. They have seen the evolution, they have seen the change, they have been through it from within. They have been witness of that. And now we have many new people, and I hope that they can feel the love we are pouring into the game. Now, it doesn't really matter whether this game is a success or not. I am happy and glad to have been part of this adventure. The whole story of me becoming a community manager for Embers Adrift is a very interesting story, and it could stop tomorrow. I'm glad about everything I've been through, even the bad stuff, and I am very happy about the whole experience. It was a lot of learning, a lot of lesson, a lot of emotional lesson too, and human lesson as well, which can seem weird. It's not just business stuff. A lot of lesson about myself. So it is beautiful. And now I do have a lot of hope for the game. I know that we have a lot of work to do. And I would like to have much more time to be able to do all the things that we want, that we hope, that we would like to. But we have to be reasonable because we're only 11 person, and I am not one. I'm counted in the 11 person, and as you all know, I'm not a developer full time. So we have limited power, we have limited resource, we have limited time. We need to be wise and smart with how we use all of that to be able to provide a really beautiful experience. An experience that is tailored to a certain game style. So it's not going to be the most popular game on the planet, but we are not intending to do that either. What we want to create is a beautiful experience for the people that want to experience that experience. And there will be old school players that used to enjoy EverQuest or Vanguard or Ultima Online or Dark Age of Camelot. That being said, there is no PvP at all. And but hopefully new player as well, a new generation of players that have not the chance to know those games, and that maybe will enjoy something which is more about the journey, more about the experience with friends, a more slow-paced game, something where you can take your time, where you can really immerse yourself into a beautiful world. And I think on that regard, we are already succeeding. There's many details that need to be tweaked on, and many more content that need to be produced or finished. But I think the essence of the game is already there, which is about capturing you in a different virtual world, immerse you into that world. You have to struggle a bit to make your way, and find help with friends, cooperate with other players to make your adventure easier, to make your journey more interesting, and to live memorable adventure you will never forget. And now what we're doing is, yes, to polish what we have, to finish some more content, and then there's all those super cool features that we have in mind that we put aside because we need to focus on what's primordial. But we have so many different ideas that we would like to implement into the game as well. So we do have a very beautiful team. We work together, we're friends, and we hope to bring a really beautiful experience to our player. And there it is. I'm using all of the skills that I have accumulated through the years. What I've been doing all of this time since I started playing video games. I can use that experience for this game, and I really do hope that I'm a good community manager. I really hope I will become a better social media manager, because that I know I'm not the best. Like, my presence on Facebook and Instagram is like 0. I really need to work on that, and I need to use my content creator skills as well to help the promotion of the game, to provide good, meaningful content on our YouTube channel. If you want to know more about Embers Adrift, I really do recommend you to check that out, and to check out our Around the Ember Ring Dev Talk, where we explain the different decisions related to game design, etc. We have 2 episodes so far. We'll be working on the 3rd one for this month. That was a very long ramble, and there's much more that I could say. So the next time I will be talking about Embers Adrift, it will be to talk about what the game is about. But today I wanted to share more my personal experience, what I've been through, what I've been feeling, and why I'm doing that. What are my hope? So my hope is that we are going to build a beautiful game for a certain type of community that I will really be able to foster nice, warm, gentle and friendly community. That's my personal goal. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you so very much for listening to my rambles. I hope it was enjoyable and relaxing. You take care of yourself, and if you have any comments, I will be curious to read you what you think about all of my ramble. Tell me what you think. See you soon. Bye, friends.